Coming up in the next 1 hour, Tamale High Court sets March 16, 2022 to rule on bail application of Fix the Country Movement convener, Mr. Oliver Vomawo.
The role of mathematical science in realizing the SDGs emphasized on World Mathematics Day.
Environmental Protection Agency continues to raise the red flag on the dangers of residing on the Wager Ridge enclave.
Death toll in train crash rises to 75 in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Good evening. This is News Hour live on GBC News and Governance channel. We're also live on GTV and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Micheline Taka.
I am Rahmatu Mahmoud, joined with Jonathan and team to do the sign language.
The Tamale High Court has adjourned the ruling of the bail application of the Fix the Country movement leader convener, Mr. Oliver Vomawo, to March 16.
The court, presided over by Justice Daniel Mensah, said even though his mind is made up on the ruling, he wants to give a detailed ruling. This was after lawyers of the applicant, led by Mr. Akoto-Ampao, moved the bail application for consideration on Monday morning.
In a nearly 2-hour hearing, lawyers for Mr. Oliver Vomawo, led by Mr. Akoto-Ampao, moving the bail application, described the comment which led to his arrest as loose and youthful exuberant talk, but argued that the criteria for such a charge has not been met by the prosecution. According to lawyers of the Fix the Country movement lead, the prosecution is jumping the gun with regards to this matter and said the police could have monitored the accused person closely after his comments to know if he had the capacity to stage a coup. Mr. Ampao again argued that contrary to the affidavit in opposition by the prosecution, Mr. Vomawo has fully cooperated with the police and also has a fixed place of abode. He accused a state attorney, Ms. Anastasia Karimu, who deposed the affidavit in opposition to the bail application, of having little knowledge of what the issues have been. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, led by Senior State Attorney Mrs. Hilda Craig, opposed to the grant of bail and said the accused is just a lodger who lives with his friends. In her argument, Mrs. Craig told the court Oliver Vomawo demonstrated his intention to execute his comments, for which reason he returned to the country on the day of his arrest to prepare to carry out his plans. Regarding the accusation leveled against Ms. Anastasia Karimu, the prosecutor argued that the Attorney General works with the police and that information received from the police is what was deposed. The prosecutor rather accused the embattled social activist of being intolerant and abusive in custody. Mr. Oliver Vomawo has been charged with treason felony after allegedly making comments suggestive of a coup plot. He has been in detention since February 11, 2022.
Meanwhile, members of the Fix the Country movement have welcomed the decision of the courts to adjourn the case to March 16, 2022. A member of the group, Mr. Rafael Williams, in an interview with GBC News said members are waiting patiently for a positive ruling on Wednesday.
What I would say is we thank the judge who sat over the case today. Like you heard, he said he's really certain with whatever judgment he wants to rule out there. We are just waiting for it, but all we are pleading is that let the rule of law work. If every single Ghanaian deserves a bill when it hits this point, at least Oliver is not different from it. He's supposed to be granted bail just like any other citizen. The country has to protect its citizens and not to scare them. Okay, so we are just hoping that the judge on Wednesday, as they've adjourned the case, will come out and give his ruling. And we are hoping that Oliver will be granted bail so that the police can continue with whatever investigations due to make sure that they come out with a conclusion of this case.
A private legal practitioner and lecturer at the GIMPA School has defended the Supreme Court's ruling upholding the right of deputy speakers to vote while presiding. Dr. Kweku Ananijinde said the decision of the Apex Court is consistent with the 1992 Constitution. The court, presided over by Justice Zuche, ruled that a deputy speaker can be counted during the formation of a quorum for decision-making and cast a vote while presiding over the House business. The ruling has since attracted mixed reaction, with the plaintiff, Justice Abdullahi, signaling a move for a review. But Dr. Ananijinde, in an earlier interview, said any attempt to have denied deputy speakers to vote while presiding will be unconstitutional.
The court has settled the entire controversy. You see, we went to court because the speaker and then the first deputy speaker had different understanding and appreciation of the various constitutional provisions, 102 and then 104. The court has done nothing untoward. If you look at our democratic system, we don't have a supreme parliament. Parliament is never supreme. So the only institution or the only thing that is supreme in Ghana is the Constitution. So if you go to Article 1.1, it speaks about the supremacy of the Constitution. Even the activities, actions of Parliament are also subject to the Constitution. You go to Article 111, Clause 1. It tells you that even the work of Parliament, the legislative power, the exercise of that power is subject to the Constitution. So what the court has done is only to give meaning and effect to what the Constitution mandates them to do in the first place. Because the Supreme Court is the only court that has the power to interpret the Constitution. Parliament decides its own rules. But Parliament, in deciding its own rules, cannot act beyond and above what the Constitution allows. So, Parliament, yes, they are masters of their own rules, they are subject to the Constitution. Article 1.1 says any law that contravenes any part of the Constitution, that law is void. And this is exactly what the Supreme Court has said. So they are not interfering with the work of Parliament. They are only giving meaning and effect what the Constitution to what the Constitution.
The law lecturer, however, endorsed calls for non-partisan deputy speakers, which he says will help address the prevailing partisan conflicts in the House.
Suggestion, it means then we need to make some constitutional amendment. Then we must make the amendment so that we'll be able to take the first deputy speakers out of the political arena and then give it to independent mandate people. But how we are going to do that, I don't know. But the reality is that that is the situation in which we find ourselves now. Even if that is going to let us have consensus in Parliament so that we can move on as a country, I think it is something worth considering. But unfortunately, at the moment, this is the situation we have. Until and unless it is changed, that is the legal position. This is what the Constitution provides.
Today is International Day of Mathematics. The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend Dr. John Ntim Fodjo, who joined UNESCO officials in Accra to mark the day, said it is because mathematics has the power to unearth talent and revolutionize society that government is investing in STEM education in the country. Government is constructing 10 new STEM schools across the country for the study of robotics, coding and artificial intelligence.
The importance of mathematics is varied and various. It is the assertion of experts that mathematics improves a person's power of reasoning, critical thinking, creativity, problem-solving ability, and even effective communication skills. To recognize the significance of mathematics, UNESCO at its 40th General Conference in November 2019 decided that on the 14th of March every year, attention be drawn to the fundamental role mathematical science could play in the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. The decision reinforces two priorities of UNESCO, Africa and gender. The International Day of Mathematics celebrates the joy to be found in the subject as well as the number of occasions it offers to girls and boys. The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend Dr. John Timfodjo, said the importance of mathematics is a key reason why government is putting in efforts on STEM education at various levels.
We have, through science and math, to be able to change the narrative of Africa. Very interestingly, the complex challenges that stare us in the face as a country, as a continent, and as a world, the solutions to them, underpinning these solutions, is mathematics. If we have to take over 57% of people in the world out of darkness, mathematics and science will underpin the solution definitely.
A representative of UNESCO, Abdurrahman Diallo, acknowledged some of the importance of mathematics.
To mark the occasion, UNESCO has released a Mathematics for Action toolkit to support science-based decision-making and provide interesting research on the many ways in which mathematics is addressing the world's most pressing challenges.
The theme for this year's International Day of Mathematics is Fostering Global Unity Through Education and Research. This reflects the nature of mathematics, which is a universal language that transcends barriers.
The Environmental Protection Agency says it will continue to educate residents of the Wager Hills as residents living both down and up the bridge are at risk of a possible landslide. The agency says it has since 2014 cautioned residents about the looming danger and the situation continues to worsen. The Deputy Executive Director in charge of operations at the Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. Ransford Sechi, who spoke to GBC News in an earlier interview, said the land has been taken over by encroachers.
We apologize for the loss in sound. Every ethnic group in Ghana has its unique cultural identity. One of such is the Ogrojo Dance performed by the Krobo people in the eastern region. From Bekomanya in Somenya in the Yilo Krobo traditional area, we bring some highlights of the Ogrojo Dance on our Who We Are series.
Ogrojo is a cultural dance performed by the Dangbe people, specifically the Krobo, of both Yilo and Manya Krobo traditional areas. The ancient dance dates back to the 17th century, where they were settlers at Klowim, the Krobo mountain, where families or the community gather under the moonlight to make merry and tell stories. Ogrojo, like other ancient Krobo dances, Pluku, Pacha, Ahusabe or Ahwasabe are performed on festive occasions with a group of about 40 plus materials such as the bamboo sticks, drums and some gourds. One is good to go to perform this unique dance. The songs chosen by the leader determines whether it is a dirge or one for celebration. Hence, Oglojo is performed at funerals, naming ceremonies, traditional Krobo marriages or even a get-together.
In the case of funerals, a man who loses an in-law could be tasked to perform the dance in honor of the departed soul and also to honor his wife. With a gallon of akpetishi, local Jane, and a fee, one can hire the services of a cultural troupe. The leader of one such cultural troops in the Ogrojo municipality, Mr. Peter Tete Adine, explained the significance as well as rules and regulations governing the dance.
Ogrojo no kone bene waneneme aba aprega jeko ba manomio abedo neji kan system no me ekobe no ejoke kan no ko ba nge asibiano angodo no ne aka yobua la jamache kan bene piane ehe ko fia lo ebuane ejo ehe lo awodo no bieke oglom ejo nejo kan fiam edo.
Some say Ogrojo could also pass as an appellation.
Public Service Workers Union of the TUC has introduced a fund and a mutual health insurance scheme for its members. This is in response to the resolution of members on welfare issues passed at the 10th Quadrennial Delegate Conference held last year and subsequently incorporated into the PSWU strategic plan. Speaking at the launch of the scheme in Kumasi, the national chairman of the PSWU, Mr. Ken Kodia, told members not to worry about the deductions and focus on the benefits available to them.
2% of the salaries of members of the Public Services Workers Union will be deducted at source for the operationalization of the PSWU fund. The objective of the PSWU fund is to help address the welfare needs of members, including granting of soft loans, hire purchase, and assist members to save towards retirement with an appreciable annual compound interest on savings. The PSW Mutual Health Insurance Scheme is designed to address the health needs of its members while in active service and during retirement. Members automatically benefit from the Critical Illness Fund under the Mutual Health Insurance Scheme, and no deductions will be made for that scheme. Also, a portion of the dues used to service the Critical Illness Fund will go to service some life-threatening health conditions like kidney diseases, heart attacks, stroke or cancer. Speaking at the launch of the two schemes in Kumasi, the national chairman of the Public Service Workers Union, Mr. Ken Kodia, further explained the benefits of the schemes to the public sector worker.
One of the healthcare costs that comes on members. The program has given all the items under rate, whether you're under surgery or maternity, whatever it is that is classified under condition, you'll be covered under the scheme.
The Deputy Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Mr. Joshua Ansah, commended the leadership and entire membership of the PSWU for supporting the establishment of the PSWU Fund, a mutual health insurance scheme. The Chief Operating Officer of Nationwide Medical Insurance, Mr. Samuel Buofo, said they were committed to ensuring that members of the PSWU got quality healthcare services.
A 5-member committee tasked to review the health and safety regime of the mining industry has presented its report, findings and recommendations to government. Their work became necessary following the Apete explosion and other related issues pertaining to Ghana's mining industry.
Government is going to take the recommendations and findings of this report very seriously, and we're going to pursue them to the letter. Of course, we'll have to study the report and come up with our own conclusions or views about the contents of the report, but I have no doubt that, if not all, most of the findings and recommendations which have been made by this committee will be taken on board and implemented, because after all, what we are looking for is to build here in Ghana a mining industry which is fit for purpose, which is serving the people, which is contributing to the national economy, and which is safe, so that we don't have a recurrence of what took place at a PAT. That's exactly what we are trying to forestall. And also all the other aspects of health and safety in the mining industry should be one that is of international best standards, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Still to come, we have business, entertainment, sports, and health. You stay.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Time now for the business segment brought to you by MTN and Quick Credit. I am Dorothy Ajamai. Telecom operators are moving beyond their connectivity offerings to providing enhanced tech solutions to the business world. The demand for such services has surged thanks to global disruptions induced by the COVID-19 pandemic. And Ghana's leading telecom operator, MTN, is not letting this golden opportunity slip away. The telco is investing $1 billion to upgrade its network infrastructure to meet the changing consumer need within the next 5 years.
5 years of transforming Ghana's telecommunication industry, MTN is moving beyond a telco to techco. The industry is shifting focus to enterprise business, which has the potential to rake in additional revenue. The telco's $1 billion investment is part of the company's new strategy, dubbed Ambition 2025. Through this investment, MTN will build critical infrastructure to provide financial technology solutions, enterprise solutions, network as a service, and an application programming interface known as API Marketplace.
A lot of things are happening. Recently, we had the pandemic, which accelerated digitization in the world. And our response to that is to reshape the business from a traditional telco into a techco. So, in the next 25 years, we'll be on that journey where we become a platform player in the next 3 to 5 years and then build on from there.
The plans were announced at the maiden MTN Media Awards in Accra. The recognition was to commemorate the 25th anniversary of MTN in Ghana. 22 organizations and individuals were honored for their contributions and support to MTN Ghana for the past 25 years. A tech writer with online news portal TechGH24, Mr. Samuel Duwona, was adjudged the overall best writer.
There are many awards that some of the best journalists don't bother to be a part of. But whatever it is, it's always a challenge or a remark about the standard of journalism in that community or society. And this ought to be one of them.
Experts say enterprise services portfolio will increase by many bounds once 5G takes off in Ghana, and MTN Ghana is repositioning to remain competitive.
Casapreco, a leading beverage manufacturer in Ghana, has put in place a Student Leadership Awards scheme to honor students excelling in mechanical and electrical engineering courses in various technical universities across the country and the Regional Maritime University at Nungua in Accra. The aim of the awards scheme is to deepen industry and academic collaboration by offering students practical platforms to apply skills acquired from their various institutions.
The Casapreco Students Leadership Awards kick-started at the Takoradi Technical University last year. The awards is to help bridge the gap between academia and the world of work by encouraging excellence in students in the technical universities. At the 18th graduation ceremony of the Cape Coast Technical University, Mr. Kato Maxwell Kuma was adjudged the overall best engineering student. Casapreco did the honors by awarding Mr. Kuma with a 2,000 Ghana cedis cash prize, a laptop, a commemorative plaque, a national service enrollment with KCL, as well as full employment after service. Speaking at the school's 18th graduation ceremony, the HR manager at Casapreco, Mr. Solomon Owusu-Bona, said that the scheme, which aims to promote technical education across the country, forms part of the company's corporate social responsibility.
We need a bridge gap with the academia no any companies in term. As I say, in PMP no, as a training call for 3 to 5 years, and son with me back to speed of near my but see they are to bra school no. Baby no be national service baby no skills na the demanded that omre. The last year 5 technical universities CCT back home. So far your Bebro Nipa 15 our more national service with us through this program. Accra factory and a Kumasi factory so.
A former dean of the School of Engineering at the Cape Coast Technical University, Dr. Charles Emmanuel Opong, was grateful to Kasapreku for setting up the award scheme to motivate students, but appealed for special packages for female engineering students.
In Kranshasam Krom there, Uzikanaya, Udu Babia, your bre and son in your baby ama student more attachment. So it's an opportunity, the students more attachment to her. The two, Osha students in Ukran, but Umia Hono, when you there, Uyenes Uya, Ubutumenya, Abasubozibi, Efi, baby, Oya Casapra. Ashasina, yet a Casapra, Kuna, and Adrian and the Jama. Ogrojo insana anu yazin kusa wo beverages in zamazame pi ohwa so students ko bushanzame pi.
The overall best engineering student, Mr. Kato Maxwell Kuma, was full of praise for the recognition by Kasapreku.
Mwana moye no na maninda ba said ya mada odo edina mo baba bua me no mani age ho pa mabushafo no bia ni age nti nyame kan se Kasapreku fo nyame hwa mo bebre nyame ka bibia na se ni a obiara nya ye bia o man ni nya den, and so no matter the class you had o man ni so na fanko to face the world no to mean battle maybe as no na they can get something better out of it.
Kasapreku, which has been certified by the International Organization for Standardization (ISO), was established in 1989 by Dr. Kwabena J. to provide quality drinks at affordable prices to all Ghanaians. The company has over the years won numerous awards, including the Beverage Company of the Year at the 2021 West African Business Excellence Awards, and also placed among the top 25 most admired brands in Africa.
Let's have the performance of the local currency on the forex market.
Good evening, this is the Energy segment with Mabel Anang. The Vice President of the Liquefied Petroleum Gas LPG Marketers Association, Mr. Gabriel Kumi, is urging government to remove some taxes on LPG to cushion consumers. He said if this is not done, another increase will push the price of a 14-kilogram LPG cylinder to 200 Ghana cedis by April.
The cost of LPG has gone up astronomically since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war and the fall of the cedi to the dollar. LPG is currently being sold at 9 cedis 76 pesos per kilogram. The recent changes in the pricing are impacting adversely on the businesses of the marketers. The LPG Marketers Association is appealing to government to remove some taxes on the product. Speaking to GBC News, Vice President of LPG Marketers Association, Mr. Gabriel Kumi, said if government fails to intervene in the price adjustment of the commodity, consumers will continue to pay more.
Currently, we are buying a kilo of LPG at about 10 cedis per kilo. And that translates into about 145 cedis for your ordinary household cylinder. That's the 14.5 kg. It's the highest we've seen so far, but that's not the end of it. We are going to see further increment in the price of LPG. Our projection is that if nothing is done, within the next 2 months, by the end of April, we are going to buy a kilo of LPG at about 13-14 Ghana cedis per kilo. And that will shoot your 14.5 kg to over 200 cedis.
Mr. Kumi projects a further increase in LPG prices in the second pricing window of this month.
Currently, the current window, we are buying a kilo at 10 cedis on the average. Next window, beginning 16th of the month, that's on Wednesday, we are likely to buy a kilo at about 11 cedis. And that will shoot your 14.5 kg to about 160 Ghana cedis.
Some more stories. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana (COPEC) is predicting that diesel may sell more than 10 cedis per litre while petrol crosses the 9 cedi mark from Wednesday, March 16, 2022. The prediction is based on the rising cost of crude oil on the international market and the depreciation of the cedi against the major trading currencies. In a statement, COPEC says the cedi has seen a sharp depreciation against the dollar from 6 cedis 83 pesos to 7 cedi 50 pesos to a dollar. COPEC stated that the at-pump prices of LPG will also increase by 23% by 9 cedis 8 pesos per kilogram in this current window to 12 cedis 4 pesos per kilogram in the next window beginning Wednesday, March 16, 2022. Now let's move to Tamale, where residents in the Tamale metropolis and its environs are still without reliable power supply as the Northern Electricity Distribution Company (NEDCO) of the Volta River Authority continues to deny them electricity services. They are appealing to NEDCO to restore power services in the area. Our Northern Regional Correspondent Mutala Isa has the latest updates on the development.
So as we speak, Kobulmagu remains off several days after the incident in Kobulmagu, and residents are appealing to NEDCO staff to come back and restore their power. It's not only Kobulmagu, but the generality of the Tamale metropolis and Sanaro municipality. Residents have been complaining of intermittent power outages. In my area, for example, we hardly get power outage, but yesterday and today we have suffered over 10 power outages, and as at the time I was leaving home, there was no electricity. I spoke with the chairperson for NEDCO staff, and he told me that they are not ready to go out there and work as long as their safety cannot be guaranteed, and in particular they want to see the young man who allegedly butchered the VRA NEDCO staff to be arrested and prosecuted. He says until that is done, they are not going out there to effect any maintenance work, restore power to any part of the metropolis or municipality and this is seriously affecting businesses.
I'm running a food store, but these days, because of the power outage, things are not easy for us at all.
Yesterday I don't have light, today I don't have light.
So this is the situation we have in the Tamale metropolis. I am aware that the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, the PURC, NETCO itself, management, they are holding a number of meetings to resolve this issue. But as it stands now, we are continuously experiencing some challenges in the power sector here in the Tamale metropolis and Sanarugu municipality. From Tamale, Mutala Isa for GBC News.
This ends the energy segment with Mabel Anang. Good evening.
Welcome to the health segment brought to you by courtesy of Lufat. A day's media engagement on anemia at Bolgatanga in the Upper East region has underscored the urgent need for the media to use their respective mediums to educate and diffuse public misconceptions on the intake of girls' iron and folate tablet supplementation currently being rolled out in junior and senior high schools across the region. The program, nicknamed GIFT, was adopted as one of the several ongoing health actions to reduce the high rate of anemia in adolescents and women of childbearing in Ghana.
Anemia, which is common among children, women of childbearing age and adolescent girls, is considered a major public health concern. Available data shows that about 42% of women are anemic, out of which 45% are pregnant women, with 48% being adolescent girls. It further revealed that 43% of women that reported for antenatal care at health facilities in the Upper East region were anemic. The region has been struggling with the prevalence of anemia. Therefore, the provision of girls' iron folate tablet supplementation, which is a combination of iron and folic acid, serves as a cost-effective intervention to addressing the high prevalence of anemia in the region. The Upper East Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Emmanuel Kofi-Dochi, expressed worry over the myth and misconceptions surrounding the intake of the tablet since its inception in 2017.
Folic acid is not a family planning pill, as I already said. It rather prepares the body for pregnancy. Most of the side effects of the iron folic acid tablet can be addressed. For example, the iron folic acid increases the blood volume, and so there is enough blood in the body.
Anemia is a condition where an individual loses enough blood in the body where nutrients in the body are deficient. This requires the intake of iron-rich foods and folic acids for rapid production and growth of red blood cells. Dr. Kofidochi encouraged girls and pregnant women to take local meals with high nutritional value to stay healthy at all times. Speaking to GBC News, the Regional Nutritional Officer, Gloria Kobati, encouraged parents to allow their wards to take the tablets devoid of misconceptions.
We are entreating parents, we are encouraging parents to allow their children to take the IFE. It's a good supplement, it's a food supplement that will help them to increase their blood and improve their iron status.
Some of the participants took the tablet to erase the misconceptions about the supplement. Advisedly, persons with malaria and other acute infections are encouraged to seek treatment before taking the drugs.
That's all in this segment, brought to you by kind courtesy of Lufat.